A great skill to have is something called failing upward. Here's the gist of it. When you fail, you learn from. What I like to use in an example that I talked about today is Beeford. When I get a pint of Ben and Jerry's, you guys know what Ben and Jerry's. You don't, I feel bad for you. But I get this one called Half Baked. I put it in my freezer, and about 2 minutes later, I am in my freezer, taking it out with a spoon, going into my office, and eating the entire pint. No ands, if, or buts. It is gone. 20 minutes. I'm like a competitive eater when it comes to the Ben and Jerry's pint. Let's say I have to lose weight. That's not intuitive to me losing weight. A pint is like 1,200 calories. That's a lot of calories for some ice cream. It's going to be hard to do that every single day and lose weight, right? I have two options. Option one, I could be like, I'm going to force myself not to eat. Okay, so let's do the brute force method. I'm going to put it in my freezer and I'm going to tell myself 30 times, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. So I go work every 5 minutes. I'm thinking about it. And then eventually, I'm just, one bite leads to however many bites it takes to entire pint in 20 minutes. I'm back to square one because brute forcing something, especially a behavioral issue, doesn't work. Failed. Could have learned from it, not repeated the same process and hoped that we have the iron will to not do this. What do I do instead? Now, I do not buy pints of Ben and Jerry's, especially when I'm on trying to diet. What I do instead is I go out of my house. I leave my house. I leave my comfort zone and I go get ice cream. I get one or two, which is substantially less than an entire pint of Ben and Jerry's half baked. You know what I can't do? Can't eat the entire pint. Because first, I have to pay for it. Second, I don't want to pay that much. Third, I don't want people to know I am this monster that can eat a pint of ice cream in 20 minutes. So I tame myself. I get like 2 scoops of ice cream. I enjoy it and I leave and I go home. And you know what doesn't happen when I go home? I don't go to my freezer and get more ice cream because it's not there. Because from my failures, I learned I cannot have this in my house. And if I do have it in my house, I have to understand that it's going to be gone. It's going to, Zippo doesn't exist after 20 minutes because I'm going to eat it all. But if it's not in my house, I planned around it that I would go out to get the ice cream because I don't want to eliminate ice cream from my life. That's not the goal here. The goal is to able to develop behavioral methods, keep that ice cream in my house. Okay? I love it so much that I want to keep it in my life. If I didn't, I would crave it all the time. But now I kill two birds with one. I still get that flavor, that delicious ice cream flavor that I wanted, that I was craving periodically throughout the week, the month, whatever. But I don't have to worry about overindulging because my lack of self control when it's in my house. And that's what failing upwards is. It's developing habits to identify a failure and you grow from it. You don't repeat it. You implement new ways to go over it, to overcome it, to adapt it to your life because every failure is a new step towards your goal. That's what failing upwards is. You're making more and more steps towards your goal because you're learning, you're overcoming. Eventually, you adapt to all of this as a lifestyle factor. And once it does that, you don't have to think about it anymore because you failed so many times, made so many steps. Eventually, it's like an escalator. You just glide right up. We fail and fail and fail and learn and learn and learn. And eventually have this plethora of failures that's basically just our artificial intelligence on how to do things, right? We have all this information to our like disposal now. That's why the process is so important because develop these failures and learn and grow from them.